Okay, so up until this point, so far what we've mostly been working on has been kind of using a lot of Revit's components out of the box and strictly sticking to kind of walls, floors, ceilings, roofs, that sort of thing. So now that we've kind of got to the point where you can build a house and you can document it, at least to a certain degree, what we're going to get into next is going to be actually putting things in that house so that it looks like a house. So before I go all in on actually modeling things, what I wanted to do was first show you guys how to edit some of the existing models that you're already using. And so as my example, I actually have my Milestone 2, the Milestone 2 that you guys, I think you guys use, yeah, you guys use this one. And so I wanted to show you, like, when you look at the front of this house, you can kind of notice that there's immediately this weird change in the door material here from what the window frames themselves have. So that's one of the. I can kind of show you guys how to change that, and that'll give me at least a foothold into showing you how a lot of things work inside of Revit. Okay, so this is just going to be editing materials, and then I'll come back with another demo, and that's going to be actually modeling things in place. So what are we going to work on? So we have this door right here, and it's got this kind of woody texture on it, whereas our windows have this kind of, I believe it's aluminum on it. And so let's say for this house, we want to kind of go continue with this dark theme that I have going on with this siding. So we'll go with dark, like fairly dark trim and moldings and everything for the windows and the door. So to do that, we'll actually double click on something, and you've probably accidentally done this before where you've loaded in here. And I'm going to hit load in a project and close and hit no. The other way you can access this is if you just select something and then click on edit family right here. And that gets you to the same place. You guys, again, have probably accidentally double clicked on something more than a couple times at this point. So here's our door. And so if we want to modify the materials here in this door, we can go to this little box up here. It's got the 4 blue squares or cubes next to it. And this is the family types. And so this is going to show you different, right here. There's a lot of things we can go over here. And this shows you the different types that are in the family. Um, Revit has a lot of weird constraints going on. So you can see right here that like it's got the dimensions. So this is a 64 by 96. You can see the width is 64 by 96. Your rough width, your rough height, your thickness. So it's got all these settings that you can kind of dive into if you want to fine tune that door to be exactly what it is you want. So we'll modify this one a little bit, and what I'm gonna do is, let's say that we actually have a door that's a little bit wider than this. So we can go in here and I'll hit new type. 1 second. Okay, so um, we're gonna make this a little wider, so we're gonna go with we'll call this a 90, we'll just do, actually let's make it a noticeably wider so we can actually see. So 70 inch by 96 inch. Okay. So we just changed the name. That's all that is done. Okay. Next thing we need to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to change the width to the 70 inches, and we'll leave that height at 70 inches. So when I do that, it's going to kind of adjust some of these numbers. So I don't know if you kind of saw it. You might have to rewind a little bit. But it adjusted the rough width to the width plus 2 inches. So that got adjusted. The panel width should have adjusted, and then some of these other numbers probably didn't adjust. They're just kind of there to set numbers. So if I hit apply, we might be able to see if that changes visibly in the background. Yeah, there we go. So we just made that door wider by adjusting these dimensions here. Okay, there's a bunch of other information here, stuff like the heat coefficient, solar gain, all that. Um, some manufacturers are going to include Revit data or Revit files that you can download for their products. Some may include that, some might not. Okay, if it doesn't have it, don't worry. For the purposes of our class, we are only going to be working with kind of just the general dimensions, and then the next part I'm going to show you, which is the materials here. So right now we have cherry as the panel material, glass is the glazing, cherry, cherry, aluminum, and cherry. So what I want to do is I wanted to change this to a dark color scheme sort of thing. So, oops, wrong menu. Grab this. Oh, come on. All right, let's cancel. Try this again. Click on that, and okay, this panel's bugging out. Can we shrink it? Enlarge it? Nope. All right. There we go. Get it in here one way or the other. All right. So, so this is the cherry that we've got, and I want to do this in something different. So we'll just do like a painted. For this, I guess we'll just be lazy and we'll just do a default new. We'll rename this to painted black so that we can access it. Actually, let's do dark gray. Rename painted dark gray. So we'll change the appearance here. We're gonna go with color, and we're just gonna go with something a little bit darker, right about there. And we can, I don't know if I showed you, I showed a couple people this in class the other day. Let's see. Let's do, you can change kind of what this is showing right here. And it'll render it kind of in a realistic lighting situation so you can see what's going on. Let's see, let's do a base. That should. So that's kind of the color that we'll be working with here. If we do an environment like a plaza, it might tint some of these colors a little bit. Warm light. So that's kind of the gray that we'd be seeing. It's just this kind of neutral right here. So I'm fine with this as our gray that we're going to use. I'll hit apply. Now that we've got that there, hit OK. I'm going to leave the glazing as glass because why not? And then the frame material, again, we'll find the, I already forgot what I called it, painted dark gray. Okay. So trim material, painted dark gray. Threshold material, dark gray. Okay, and then door handle material. So this one I'm actually going to make a specific dark aluminum for. So just like all the other things, we'll call this dark aluminum. We'll change this to, so I'm going to leave this as satin metal. Actually, let's do, yeah, satin's fine. And then I'm going to add a tint, and I'm going to adjust that just a little bit darker too. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Dark aluminum set. We'll apply that to the door handle. So now we have painted dark gray on everything but the handle and the glazing. So if we apply this now, we've got that for that. That doesn't look, do we have to edit this family? So we're in the inception level of, no, it says dark aluminum. Alright. Okay, close that. Okay, so this is our new door. We made it wider and we changed the materials that are going on with it. So that's how you can modify existing materials, alright? So I'm gonna click load in a project and close, and what that's gonna do is say, it's gonna ask me if I wanna save changes. I'm gonna say yes. And then it already exists in the project. So when I loaded that, or when I had that loaded, I had it loaded a unique instance of this set of doors were loaded into my project, and I'm modifying the ones that are copied into my project. So I'm not changing the base collection, I'm just changing the file that I'm using inside of my project. So do I want to replace the existing file? Yes, I do. And then overwrite the existing version, and we should have, no, really? Let me go back in there. Oh, because I uh, didn't change the door I was using, because we're still using the standard one there. So let's change that to the 70. So there we go. That's got the whiter door that I had as well as the dark colors that I assigned. So then if I go to the windows here, again, we'll double click on one of these. And let's see, so we'll go in back into here. just like with the other one, frame material, I don't know if it's necessarily going to have our dark, yeah, so I would have to figure out a way to bring the color that I just had over. So for now, we'll just, if I was doing this for real, I'd actually sit down and write down what the colors were, or I'd use an existing material somewhere else. For this, again, I'm just going to duplicate it. So we'll duplicate this to a metal aluminum dark. We'll change the appearance, tint. We'll go a little bit darker right there. Apply, 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 apply. Load in a project. Yes, yes. And because all of our windows were using that, this should overwrite all the windows to that new material. I said should, and of course it didn't. Which one did I modify here? Let's go back and double check. Oh, because did I not change this? There we go. Okay, load in project close. Yes. Overwrite. Still? Really? 72 by 53. Let me make sure I'm modifying the right one here too. 72 by 53. We're on, oh, that's why. Okay. Metal aluminum, aluminum dark. Okay. Making sure you change the right one too, that helps. Alright, so we've got that changed. And obviously if you were working on a much larger project, you might actually have several different versions of the same window with different colors applied to it. Really? Hold on. Okay, I think I figured out what I was doing wrong. Let me just show you guys real quick so you don't make the same mistake I just did. So when you load in a project and close, because I didn't create a new one, of course it doesn't show it this time because I didn't make any changes. Okay, so let me go back to this. I'm going to change, let's do the big one. I know I'm not using this one, so we'll change this one back to, doesn't matter what I change it to. We'll just throw it as default form, sure. Okay, so we change that, hit apply, okay. So that just changed that one right there. When we load into project and close, what I was yes-anding through was overwrite the existing version and its parameter values. So if you do change an existing model like I did and you don't duplicate it, you want to overwrite the existing version and the parameter values being the materials that we just changed. So that's what actually got those to change. So, okay, there we go. So that's how you would go through and kind of change existing materials or change the materials for your existing um, models in Revit for your doors, windows, that sort of thing. Same thing, I could go to the stairs here, or the railing for the stairs, and apply a texture to that. Oh, did I miss this wall? I did, okay. So that's this demo. I'm going to do another one that should follow this one up, and that's going to be on actually modifying some of these, and then we'll go to modeling in place. So I'll see you in the next one.